we got a couple topics to talk about today. We're gonna actually flip it. Instead of talking about the NBA first, we're gonna start with the NFL. There's free agency going on in the NFL right now. A lot of players getting moved. So with that being said, we're gonna start with the Browns owner. Jimmy Haslam refuses to speak to defensive end Myles Garrett. So Myles Garrett, if you didn't know, for our viewers that didn't know, that he requested a trade, and basically the GM's not trying to hear that. So as of 2024, 2025, Garrett totaled 14 sacks and 47 tackles in 17 games this past season. The Browns finished 3-14, and they haven't made the conference championship in the 21st century. The team holds the second overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft. So how do you guys feel about the GM of the Browns GM not wanting to speak to Myles Garrett? We'll start with you, P.
So from my understanding, Myles Garrett went and talked to, I don't know who exactly, but I think he talked to the upper management prior to requesting a trade about like what the team's plans are, because the Browns are in like a weird spot. They were in the playoffs a couple of years ago, and they were doing pretty solid in the playoffs a couple of years ago. They lost to the Chiefs like in the divisional or something like that, off of like a very like Chad Henne picked up like a crazy like third down. But they were in the playoffs a couple years ago, and they went out and signed Deshaun Watson, and they were supposed to be set up for the future. But Deshaun Watson's hurt. He missed last season. He's probably going to miss next season. So they're in a limbo spot. And Myles Garrett's probably one of the greatest defensive players of our generation up to this point. I mean, he's definitely played like he's one of those guys that gets like triple teamed every game because of how good he is. Yeah. So I think it's completely understandable that he wants to leave, and I can understand why the owner wouldn't want to talk to him. I mean, he's like, all right, if you want to leave, we'll figure out this trade destination, and then like we're done with you, I guess.
Right. Sean?
Myles Garrett, I actually did not knew that. And so like I don't know the details of his situation. I do know he's great. Deshaun Watson was probably the worst player in the NFL last season, so I will understand me wanting to get into a better position, considering that the Cleveland Browns traded I think it was it either Baker or Joe Flacco or someone else?
They traded Baker.
Yeah, Baker to Tampa Bay.
Crazy, but like.
Oh, was it Tampa Bay?
They I don't know if they traded him to Carolina, I think, and then he bounced around the league after that.
Oh,
yeah, but like putting that much stock on Deshaun Massage Watson is definitely an interesting choice. Considering he gets injured, I'm sure that he's gonna go to 7 more massages. I'm warning all you ladies to just stay away, have the man do it. But I would totally understand why Myles Garrett will leave. You're going nowhere. You're stuck with that massage terrorist, and it's like I would try head off to another destination.
Trav.
Yeah, I mean, as a Ravens fan, get him out the division. I'm fine with that. I do understand why he would want to leave though, because that team is kind of they're kind of everywhere right now. They gave Deshaun Watson too much money. I mean, they're not. If you think about it, the Browns aren't a bad team. They're literally a quarterback away from having a really solid team. But that's been like their Achilles heel, like past years, whatever. Like
forever.
Like Peanut was saying, like in 2023 they made it to the playoffs. You know, they were just in the playoffs 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like they lost to the Texans. I'm not sure how the injuries looked that year, but they lost to the Texans in 2023, 2024 year, whatever it was. And I think Myles Garrett sees the writing on the wall as far as like not having like as long as their offense is going to produce, it doesn't matter how good their defense is, because they always have a good defense, you know. And this is someone who actually I watch Browns games because they're in our division, so that is a solid team. But it looks like a dead end right now, especially when you don't know what your quarterback situation looks like. So I think Jimmy has, Sam or Haslam, whatever it is, not the greatest owner either. You know what I mean? A little bit of an ego when you talk about him. It's all about him. If he's always going to think his moves are the right moves. But I think he's since taking over the team in 2011, 12, they're like 70 and like 120 something. So, I mean, it's not like he's had a great tenure there. You know what I mean? So, I think he's just in his feelings for sure. You know what I mean? Like they've taken care of Myles Garrett as far as, payments and everything like that. But
Right.
Myles Garrett as a player who still, I would say, is in his prime and is definitely one of the best defensive ends ever. He's like, hey man, I gotta get up out of Cleveland. You know what I mean? It's not gonna work. I gotta get up out of here. So I understand his side, and I think Jimmy's just in his feelings. Seems like, like a little petty not to talk to that guy who has brought you a lot of, success on that end of the ball, So pause.
With that being said, before I let you go, Ahmad, I just want to put out there that he signed a 5-year, $125 million deal in 2020. So, like Trav said, it's not like they didn't do right by him. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense for them to ship him out. You feel me? And not only that, the owner told him to talk to the GM. So and the GM's name is Andrew Berry. And Berry was talking about he can't imagine a situation where not having Myles is best for the Browns. So it seems like they're trying to keep him,
like strong armor,
hold him captive. But go ahead, Ahmad.
To me, this is really Deshaun Watson. This is Deshaun Watson's fault, bro. This is his fault. I mean, if he wasn't so ass last season, I don't think we'd be having the same conversation. This is his fault. This is what's the Jameis Winston? It's his fault. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Winston,
Jameis Winston is one of the greatest football personalities I think I've ever seen.
Bro, we ain't here for personality. We here for champ. We here for tips, bro. We here for the goals,
give
man.
the bro some credit.
We ain't trying to hear that, bro. We throwing picks at the. It was crazy. It was ridiculous.
Bro, he had to get right with the Lord. He had to get right with the Lord. He said.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine Myles Garrett. Like, yo, are you serious? Imagine, bro. Imagine working hard on defense just for this nigga to throw the ball away, bro. That shit is.
That's a fact.
You do it 5 times.
That shit is annoying.
For real.
Yeah. So in Myles Garrett, bro, he's been dealing with this shit for 8 fucking season. He's been dealing with this shit.
Yeah.
So he's kind of over it. So I can understand from Myles Garrett's perspective, like, yo, I'm trying to win, bro. I got the money. Once you get the bread, at that point, it's about the win. It's about the win. It's about the legacy. So I can understand Myles Garrett's perspective in terms of like he wants to go to a team that's good. But at the end of the day, you got to be a professional, bro. You got to operate like a professional in this league. You signed a contract, right? You signed a contract. You got paid for that contract. You got guaranteed money. A lot of players in the NFL is a whole different story than basketball. It's not a lot of guaranteed money going around. He got guaranteed money plus a huge ass signing bonus. So they definitely paid that man. So when they pay you like that, bro, it's one more year, bro. You can do one more year and then move on to wherever you want to go after that. Because you got to look at it for the Cleveland Browns. This is a business decision. They're going to take a dead cap hit because of the signing bonus he had next year. So they're going to be paying for a player that's not even on a roster. I can understand why, from a business decision, the Cleveland Browns is not going to want to do that. But then they got to be careful just about how they operate the situation, because that's not a good look for other players. They trying to get players to come to their team. That's not a good look for like the nigga who's been on your team, coming and clocking in, clocking out, putting in mad work in for the last 8 years to not even talk to him. That's not good business to sit. Like, that's not like a good look to attract more players to the team. So I think they got to be careful. At the end of the day, I can see both points.
You hear me? Like I said,
it's not an attractive place.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, shout out to Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but it's not the most attractive place. It ain't Miami, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you do shit like that, and like I said before, there's a lot of egos involved when it comes to sports. So, players aren't really trying to go for that. So you got to be careful how you do that. But at the same time, I do understand that it is a business. It is a business decision. I get that Myles Garrett wants to leave, but he got to continue to present himself as a professional. So that's what the game is all about.
Well, guess what? My
That's one
report's saying that he's ready to sit out games if he's not traded.
I
seen that. I seen that.
wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I don't think he's really been injured.
No.
I think he had like one knee injury, but like the only time he's missed is when he fucking smashed the helmet over Mason Rudolph's head.
Yeah.
And got suspended for a season. But like other than that, he's been consistent for the Browns. They drafted him like number 2, I think. I think they drafted Baker than him, I think, in that draft or something like that.
But that's why he got paid though. That's why he got paid, you know.
And Ahmad, to be fair, I don't think we've seen Myles Garrett be unprofessional yet. You know what I mean? Like he just said what he wanted to do, and this is the reaction of what his action was. You know what I mean? We haven't seen him be like, you know, like talk shit or do anything crazy like that. I mean, we haven't got to the season yet, so we haven't even seen him sit out games yet. You know what I mean? So it hasn't been unprofessional on his end, but we obviously see where this is going. It's going to go, and it's going to end up being him being unprofessional. Sitting out games when you're completely healthy and things like that. Where that does look a little different, but I mean, I think from the outside looking in, the other 31 teams are going to be like, I understand why you're sitting out. So no one's going to look at him and be like, oh, he's going to be a problem on our team. They're going to be like, he plays for the Browns. He just don't want to play for that team. You know what I mean? So like he's sitting out just because of that reason. So I mean,
but do you think, Trav? You think it's because of the culture? Today's culture, it's a culture where players, oh, I want to play. Fuck it, I'm gonna sit on the bench. I spoke that one shit. Like,
I think some of that is part of it because you know, like it's we're seeing now the past, I would say maybe 5-6 years, like a lot of player empowerment. You know what I mean? So like the players are just like, hey man, like it is what it is. I got my money. If you guys don't want to, you know, respect me or want to give me what I'm telling you I want, I'll sit out. I got my guaranteed money already, which is a double-edged sword because it's kind of fucked up. It's like, dog, you signed the contract, so you knew you were going to be here through 2026. So it's like, why are you now like doing this? Like, just honor your contract. But it's tough, especially with football, because it's like, man, that's such an injury-prone sport, and it's so grueling on the body. It's like, man, I don't want to waste another year, even though it's only one more year. It's like, man, I don't want to waste that year.
All it takes is one Achilles, one ACL. It's a business at the end of the day.
On both ends, you know, on both ends is a business. So I mean, like he can be looking at like, go ahead.
But isn't that what he's getting paid the guaranteed money for? Like he got paid like what was like $100 million worth of guaranteed money? Isn't that 120? Yeah. Isn't that what it's for? To like, okay, we know that this is anything can happen, you know. That's why you want to get that guaranteed money, because anything can happen. So isn't that like the point of it all?
That's what that's there for. You know what I mean? That is definitely what that's there for. And it's one of those things, man. It's a double-edged sword, man. I could just imagine how it is to be in that position where it's like, man, I would rather be with the Rams than with the Browns for one more year, you know, or whoever it is. And it's like, man, like just because you don't know, like you could have a injury where it's like you never bounce back. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that's a good point, though. That's a good point. I mean, sometimes it is better to trade the player, because I think it's a cancer to the organization sometimes when a player doesn't want to be there. He just kind of, you know, going through the motions and shit.
Exactly.
And to the Browns' credit, it's not like they're not going to get anything for him. Like they could get
a haul.
pretty good package for Myles Garrett, just because of how good of a player he is.
You could probably still get a first-round pick for Myles Garrett at this point. Like for sure, a team will give you a first-round pick for Myles Garrett. You know what I mean? Yeah, it might not be a top 5 pick, but you can still get a first-round pick for Myles Garrett for sure.
You know, he could come to Atlanta.
I'm looking at it. Come to Baltimore. Come where defenses is made at, baby. Come on down to Baltimore. Like, well, you know what I mean?
I would love to see him on the Chiefs.
You Chiefs fans you guys are a little stingy. You guys want everybody over there. Like,
nah, we do. We don't nobody.
Alright, trying to give y'all Devontae Smith last week. I mean, or Devontae Adams. Like, you know what I mean? Just
he wants everybody, bro.
We need him, bro. After that ass whooping we got, bro, we need everybody, bro.
Y'all are Super Bowl champions. You don't need to. Baltimore definitely needs to find that edge. I could say at least Buffalo also needs that edge. Can't say
Bro,
y'all have 3.
I feel like the Baltimore, they already have everything they need. Y'all have everything y'all need. Y'all just can't get it done, bro.
They didn't make it to the
Uh-oh.
Y'all
Super
just
Bowl.
can't. And Chad knows that's a fact. Well, you know that's a
No,
fact. Like, y'all have
I do.
everything.
No, I can't even argue that. I think we're just like mentally
Yeah.
we're mentally off of that last step. We have
Mhm.
the team. We definitely have the
Yeah.
team. I'm not going to ever argue that. Like we definitely have a team to make that run. It's just us shooting ourselves in the foot every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's all it is.
exactly.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, let's not do
But even
that.
Mark
Let's not do
Andrews, I
that.
feel like he's better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like
For sure.
I don't know, y'all. It's like Travis, it's a mental thing when it comes to the Ravens.
How about Buffalo?
Buffalo will be straight.
That'd be straight.
No,
I mean, Von
Patrick
Miller's on his way
Mahomes.
out.
You gotta remember it's gonna take a good amount of capital. Some of these teams don't really have capital like that. Like Buffalo, I don't think they really have the capital to give up.
Reports here says that the Philadelphia Eagles are among the front runners to get him.
They
Man,
got capital.
Yeah, they got
they got.
Cap.
I would hate to see that team would be stacked with them Georgia boys like Jalen Carter and them. That team would be super deadly. Them
That would
boys
be
might
crazy.
lose.
Yeah.
They might
Back to
not lose a
back.
game. That could be a nasty team right there, man.
That
Like,
would be
for real.
crazy.
Yeah.
Who would they it would be a trade. So who would they give up to pick up?
They have a bunch of young players that they could.
I would give up all the picks I have, all the cash considerations, and whatever second strings I can. I'm putting up whatever the package is for Myles
Yeah,
Garrett
Myles
at that
Garrett.
point.
I would
And
just
Myles
keep the
Garrett's only
core.
29.
Yeah, he's
Right.
still young. Yeah, as long as as long as the Eagles keep that core they have, I would hate to see them like switch up the core. Because sometimes you think
Yeah.
it's going to work out and
Yeah,
don't work
yeah.
out. But if they can like give picks, money, I think that could definitely be something crazy.
Yep.
Good stuff, guys. We're gonna move on to the next topic. All right, staying within the NFL, DK Metcalf requests a trade from the Seattle Seahawks. Excuse me. The GM is in plenty trade talks right now with many teams. Where's the best destination for DK Metcalf? Let's start with you, Ahmad.
Not to cut you off, Ahmad, but they also
Yeah.
traded their starting quarterback today.
Yeah, Geno Smith. Yeah.
He's
He's
a
with the
Raider.
Raiders now.
Yeah. It's interesting for sure because you got that man Pete Carroll over in the Raiders, and it's just kind of a coincidence, how you got Geno Smith going over there. We hear about DK Metcalf might reunite with Pete, so it's definitely interesting. I think I don't know. I think DK, he was just kind of tired of that Seattle Seahawks offense. It seemed like the Seattle Seahawks, they want to run it. They want to run the ball a lot. I think he was maybe tired of not getting the ball as much as he would have liked. Where he's gonna end up, I don't know where he's gonna end up. Honestly, I could see him on the team like the Raiders, just because he's played with the coach before. He's now played with the quarterback before. And I just see that's a place where he might thrive, But I'm not really sure. I think it'll be the Raiders was where I see him going.
Sean?
Can't go to someone else. I'm still trying to think.
All right, before I'm gonna let you go, Travis, next. Before I let you go, though, Metcalf was drafted in the second round in 2019. The past season he only had 5 touchdowns on 66 receptions for 992 yards. Seahawks wasn't that good last year or this past season.
I mean,
go ahead.
they were good in the beginning though. They was good in the beginning.
They were sniffing a playoff spot. They were like barely on the edge.
Yeah, they were good in the beginning, then they kind of fell off a little bit. But.
It seemed like they wasn't utilizing DK.
Not at all.
Well. Yeah, they were running. They were running. They were doing more running plays than passing.
I think I got a perfect spot for him. I think he should go to Green Bay. And I don't know if he wants to live in Green Bay. I know Green Bay is kind of a hard spot for players to go to because it's fucking Green Bay in the middle of nowhere. But I think if he went to Green Bay into that wide receiver room with like Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, and Jordan Love's a competent, solid quarterback, I think he could I think he could help that team out a lot. That's a playoff team right there. You know what I mean? I know they were banged up this year with a lot of injuries, but I think how I'm thinking about it, I think the Green Bay Packers would be a really good spot for DK to go to. So if I think it's going to actually happen. That's where I really think there's no other team that's really going to take that pool on them. I think Green Bay would be a perfect spot for DK Metcalf to go to. So
it's
What
not
about what about the Titans? Text or
see,
Mm,
With Lil Levis?
I get
no no
I
no
get
no, no, no. I'm in the Texans.
Texans.
Oh, I was about to
So
say
I remember I was speaking on that with the Debo thing, and I
Yeah.
totally left out Stephon Diggs. They're full down there. They got Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. So I mean, you got three guys who are solid, and it's like now you bring a fourth, and it's like who gets pushed to the side.
But
The-
You know what I mean? So
Tank
Yeah,
Dell had
I
that
think
crazy
Dell-
injury.
They just signed Christian Kirk.
Christian
too.
Kirk, yeah.
they
Okay.
also just did. That's right. They also just did that. So I mean,
Yeah,
Texans.
nah.
Texans are out of it, and I don't think DK is going to go to a team that's not in contention at this point.
Yep.
I think I
Yeah,
might
yeah.
have a team.
Go ahead, Sean.
Is anyone even discussing maybe like I'm just throwing a name out because I don't know if this team. I know they have the quarterback. Anyone thinking about the Chargers?
It's not
I
bad.
think didn't Travis didn't you mention that for Debo or we were talking or
I
was that
think- yeah, I
Devontae?
think-
It was
That was for Devontae. I
it was one
think
of the
someone
receivers
brought
we were
up.
talking about.
Yeah, it was for Devontae Adams. Could maybe go to the Chargers as well because they have. I think it was either UP or Ahmad that brought up how Herbert is a solid quarterback, and it could go to a team like that. Like
Yeah.
so, I guess DK with the Chargers wouldn't be a bad one either. Because they got Lad McConkey out there. Like they do have a number one. So I mean, I think he needs to go somewhere where they have like a receiving room that's solid for sure.
How about the Cowboys?
Hell no.
I brought that up last week too with Devontae Adams. I'm like
Devontae.
that, like I feel
Hey,
like because
Travis, people was feeling that on TikTok, bro.
oh
They
for
was
real.
feeling that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
They
I mean, because like I said, Dak's not the worst quarterback. Like Dak, when he's healthy, will give you 4,000 yards. I mean, so you get him some weapons. I mean, it's not going to be a problem. So I mean,
They got the worst owner award.
that's
Yeah,
when it starts, you start going from the top to the bottom. That's that's where some of these issues are. I mean,
Yeah.
What about the Jets?
They don't got
We
a
need to
QB,
figure
bro.
out a quarterback
No.
first.
quarterback. Yep.
Yeah.
I can't go no if I'm leaving the Seahawks who had Geno and he was requesting this while Geno was still there. So now they're stuck with Sam Howell, I think is their
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
So exactly. So I'm not going to go to a team that has quarterback issues. I have to go to a team that has a solid quarterback. So
Right.
I mean, who knows? Your Chiefs might pay him. You know what I mean? It could be a thing like I mean, I don't see him fitting there with the Chiefs, but
Why
it'd
not?
be one of them things. I think he's DK is, and for me, is in the list of one of those diva receivers. So like if he's not like that guy, I feel like he kind of like
And y'all's
like a
all-
Tyreek Hill kind of thing, Tyreek
yeah, you know what I
Hill
mean?
is-
So it's like if he knows he's going to go to Kansas City and it's still going to be all about Travis Kelce or it's Patrick Mahomes, it's like, man, how is Travis Kelce getting more attempts than I'm getting type shit? You know what I mean? So he might be like, rubbed the wrong way. I feel like that's just who DK Metcalf is. Some of those diva receivers need to be like number one.
I feel you.
The way I'm thinking about it, so Seattle from the way it looks this week, Seattle's rebuild mode.
Yeah, rebuild.
Mhm.
I don't know. Because they released Tyler Lockett. DK Metcalf wants out. They traded Geno. So clearly they're trying to shake things up, rebuild it. So I feel like at the end of the day, DK can only have so much say in the trade. I don't know what his contract looks like. I don't know if it has a no trade clause or whatever. I don't think it does because he's on like a rookie contract still or like an extension of his rookie contract. So I feel like he might get to a team like maybe that has like a semi-high pick in this year's draft because I think you could get a medium to late first round pick for him.
Yeah.
I could see him maybe going to like I doubt Carolina would move their number 8 pick,
Yeah.
but they need a receiver that would fill that hole for them. Maybe like
The Bears.
I doubt the the Bears don't really need receivers. The receivers are really good. The Jaguars maybe. I don't know what the Jaguars are feeling. They need a receiver like that. They just dropped Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Maybe Denver. If Denver trades their number 20th pick, it could work. I don't know. There's some teams that I feel like maybe the Chargers maybe could move their pick. I mean, that's definitely a viable option if they want to get rid of number 22. So I mean,
And I just looked it up real quick. Metcalf doesn't have a no trade clause, so they can trade him wherever the hell they want to trade him to.
I figured they didn't.
Trade him to
Yep.
the Giants.
Yeah, please.
With Shador.
Come over here. Please
Wait,
come
when
over
is the
here.
draft, by the way?
47 days from now. I don't know the exact date.
Ah, that was gonna be
Bro
close.
said 47.
Damn, I was gonna say maybe we should do like a little special for the draft.
Is that all we got to say about DK?
Yeah.
I don't have much to say anything. Anyway.
All right, then let's move on.
I got a question, by the way.
What's up, Sean?
Do y'all notice that the Bengals placed their franchise tag, I believe, on T. Higgins, and then the deep. Who's that guy in the peanut? What's
Trey
his name?
Hendrickson.
Yeah, they allowed him to seek a trade.
Well, so not to get sidetracked, but I saw a thing explaining it. Max Crosby, one of the best defensive ends in the NFL, just got an absolute bag. Like he got the highest paid I think it's the highest non-quarterback contract in NFL history. So I think the way the Bengals look at it, they're like, if Max Crosby's getting the bag and we have the guy who just led the league in sacks, what is he going to want from us? And we can't give him that. No matter how much we move around contracts, people take pay cuts, we let people go. You was not freeing up like 100 and like however much million, like 100 million at the very least. So they were like, if we're going to let you try to find a trade, if you can't find a trade, just come on back, I guess.
And it's crazy that, like, even for the NFL and the NBA, it's always like, yo, this guy got paid $75 million, but I'm better than him. Feel me? So give me 100. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that it's like that. We just like they see that's how players want to get paid.
One player comes to my mind immediately. Paul George.
Yeah. To me, what the player that comes to my mind, he fucked the whole entire game up last year, was when the Browns gave Deshaun Watson that contract. Fucked up everybody. Everybody was fucked up. Like, yo, why you do that, bro? Like, I feel like the owners used to be like, come on, bro. Really,
had the Falcons wilding out, giving Kirk Cousins 100. Like I don't know how much they gave him.
Kirk Cousins for 4 straight games threw nothing but picks.
And if you go back a few years back, Ezekiel Elliott messed up the market for the running backs. You know what I mean? Like once they gave Zeke all that money and Zeke didn't perform, it messed up the market for the running backs. But now we're seeing that, I guess this past week, we're seeing Saquon, he's resetting it. You know what I mean? So like I think these running backs are gonna start getting paid again. But Ezekiel messed it up for about 5 years for them boys.
Pay the running backs. Pay the running backs.
Got
you need
to.
a running back.
You know what's crazy is that Saquon getting his contract and how high it is, it's less than what T. Higgins' franchise tag is. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like for a player that you know is like you need for your team compared to a T. Higgins, it's like, you know, I know it's different in NFL, but it's like, man, for T. Higgins to be getting more money than Saquon is crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
We need an MVP awards for the agents, yo. The mom agent. Whoever is getting these players the bag like that, we need an MVP award.
Like I said, I think if you talk about it, Kirk Cousins' agent should go down in history as number one ski mask agent ever, bro. Like that man has gotten Kirk paid everywhere, bro. Like Kirk has got paid everywhere for no reason. Not to
get sidetracked, bro, but he came. So we're I don't know what we're trying to do with him. I don't know if we're trying to trade him. He talked to our owner today and was like, I want to go to a team where I'm the number one option. So, and he has a no trade clause, which is good for us. So if we can ship him off somewhere, I'm happy, bro.
Wait. P, he has a no trade clause.
Yeah, but he wants
Crazy.
to leave.
Oh my
He
god,
wants to leave, so that's the good thing. He wants to
Yo,
leave, bro.
how
I
did
don't think we
how did
should
his
be. I don't
agent
think
do
we
that?
should have to pay him. Don't get me started. First off, he got pissed when we drafted Michael Penix. Like, all right,
Yep.
we as an organization understand the quarterback's the most important position. Then he was he played terrible for a stretch, and then he lied to our organization saying that he wasn't hurt even though he was hurt, and we lost our playoff spot. Bro, we could
Yep.
ship your ass off to the fucking the Browns or wherever and send you off to
Nah,
Timbuktu
No
and
man's
let you
land. No
ride.
man's land.
Bro, but who's
Send
gonna
him up
want
to-
him?
Send him up to Josh's team.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Giants.
you-
Yeah.
We'll
Send him up to
take
Josh's
him.
team for the
We'll
first
take
round
him.
pick. Yeah, I know y'all will. Y'all trade your first pick for him too. Crazy.
Oh wait,
y'all
no.
Hell yeah, y'all would.
You don't
Y'all
want to give up the
would.
first rounder, bro.
Y'all, the Giants definitely would do that though.
That's
would.
some
They
some
would.
giant shit
The
to do.
Giants
Yeah.
would do that. And as
I
much
feel
as
like
I
Aaron
don't,
Rodgers about to come our ways.
oh man, come on.
They
I'd
need-
rather
that's the
have Kurt
relevance.
than him.
Yeah.
Give me
Shit,
Kurt
Yeah.
over Aaron.
I'm not
at
gonna
this
lie,
point.
Trav, that's crazy to say. That's a
Wow.
crazy statement.
It's
And it
not. I mean,
It's a
compare him to
crazy
this
statement.
season.
Wow.
If you
Oh my
ignore the
God.
games where he just absolutely blew
Give
it,
me
Kirk was
give
popped off.
give me Kurt over Aaron Rodgers at this in
No.
2025.
And
You want a
Kirk's not
40-year-old Rodgers?
And Kirk's not a cancer.
Bro, we talking
Yeah.
about Aaron Rodgers. I get it, bro.
ain't
I
Kirk
get
up
it.
there in age too, though?
Ahmad.
I
He's
get
not-
it.
Come
Come
on.
on.
Ahmad.
This is Aaron Rodgers we talking about, bro.
I'm a
I-
Jets
and-
fan.
so hold on. So I was just
Travis,
having I was just having this conversation. What has Aaron Rodgers done besides win a Super Bowl in 2010?
He got MVP a couple years ago.
Yeah, bro. Like,
Come on,
other
I
than
mean, come
that,
on, I mean, come on, come
No,
on.
don't do that, Trav.
Hey,
come
Aaron
on.
Rodgers got a cannon,
his
bro.
best skill
Yeah,
is
like,
talking to
he-
Pat
Aaron
McAfee.
Rodgers is 40. Aaron Rodgers 40 is different than LeBron James is 40. Aaron Rodgers right now is not him, bro. He ever since that injury, he can't. He's so immobile, like he can't even step to.
he
I'm
left.
telling you,
the
Aaron
Packers
Rodgers.
here.
Just like we talking about, Aaron Rodgers is washed beyond washed, bro. Like hang him up, bro. Like
We
dry
don't even need a
clean.
theme song.
strike clean
Come
is
on,
crazy.
bro. Like dry clean that man. Like come on, bro. Like I think Kirk Cousins has a little bit left in the tank, and as long as he's not playing prime time, he'll win you games. As long as Kirk Cousins not even playing prime time, he'll win you games. So I mean,
Bro, yo, Trav, you had said, didn't he not win MVP 2021 and 2020? Am I bugging? Did that happen?
Yeah,
And
but,
Rodgers-
but to Travis's point, that was on the
Yeah,
Packers. He left
Yeah,
the Packers and ain't done
Okay.
nothing.
But listen, bro. He came. This is like the season after he fucked his Achilles up. You know what I'm saying? So like, give him some grace. Give him.
No,
It's only
but
1 year since he messed his Achilles up.
No.
we know that players that mess their Achilles up never bounce back right, bro. Never bounce back right. That Achilles injury is tough.
KD.
If
KD's different. He's better than Rodgers.
is KD ever leading a team anywhere?
No.
Did Kobe ever look like Kobe after the Achilles injury?
No.
Come on, man. Like, I mean, like
Some
the
people
Achilles
come
is
back, bro.
different, bro. That's
Nah.
different.
And plus,
And the man's 40 years old. I think he'll be 41 this year in the season. Like he'll turn 41 in the season. Like
Nah, I hear
that's
you.
different.
I hear you.
It's the age. It's more of the age for me. If we're talking about a 31-year-old, a 35-year-old Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers, I'd be like, all right, like I'm never picking Kurt over him. But like we're talking about a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers who, ever since he's been smoking dope down in the islands, bro, he hasn't been focused, bro. Like he hasn't been focused, bro. Like he's been.
Taking those darkness retreat.
Come
Yeah.
on, man. Like
and that's why I'm sick and tired of the Aaron Rodgers experiment. It's like all he does is talk on the Pat McAfee show and then throw like around 280 yards and losing while looking like complete like a Statue of Liberty out there. It's not worth it. Like I want us to get a young, talented, very mobile quarterback, and at least the quarterback will hopefully doesn't go on the Pat McAfee show. Take darkness retreats, smoke psychedelic mushrooms, and it's like, yeah, golly, you could like this whole entire podcast. Johnny has detailed my deep disdain for Aaron Rodgers, so don't get me started with him. bitch.
And you're right. He did win. He did win one in 2021. But like I said, that was with the Packers. Solid organization. You know what I mean? Weapons. Like he had a team.
And 2020, 2022, we went
20
back-to-back MVPs.
back-to-back MVPs with a good team.
Okay.
We haven't, it's hard for him. I guess we haven't seen it, but I mean, coming off the injury the year before, I mean, it's the age for me. Age for me. That's
Okay.
all I'll say.
You're saying, yeah, you saying you wouldn't risk it. Yeah.
No, because he's just too old right now, and that's tough in the NFL.
I got you.
All right. So,
Never shitting on him. Never shitting on Aaron Rodgers. Like I had an Aaron Rodgers jersey a few years back. You know what I mean?
It sounds like you were shitting on
15,
him.
16. Nah, I wasn't trying.
So, that's how niggas be when they shit on you. They're like, I ain't shitting on you though. I ain't shitting.
Nah. Hey man, I'm more than happy to shit on Aaron Rodgers.
It's just the age thing, man. It's the age thing.
Okay.
all right, guys, let's move on to the NBA now. We got some Cat and Draymond news. So Draymond's allegedly saying that Cat did not want to play because Jimmy was in the building. This was on Tuesday of this week. And he said this on the Draymond Green show with Baron Davis. He added, I don't know what was hurt. I didn't look that deep into it to figure out what his injury was or nothing like that. Because it was listed that Towns was out due to personal reasons. And Draymond went on to say, that sucks. But my comments that I made was that people I heard was this, and that's what I heard. So I do send my well wishes to him and his family. It's inevitable. So how do y'all feel about Draymond's comments regarding Cat saying that he was ducking the Warriors because Jimmy Butler was playing? We'll go with you, Sean. But before you go, Golden State is now what, 10-2 since Butler has arrived. So Go ahead, Sean.
Did Draymond Green learn anything from the Jordan Poole situation? I want to ask all y'all that. Did he learn from the Jordan Poole situation?
He matured a little bit.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I'm not I can't tell.
Are we sure?
Nah, Draymond's still kicking people in the balls, bro.
Yeah. The thing is that I want to raise my hand because I did a lot of research on that topic. And Jimmy Butler, he played for Miami. Cat has played numerous games against Jimmy Butler in Miami. They even had a little verbal altercation. So that I don't know where Draymond's getting that out of. And plus, Cat, I believe his girlfriend, Jordan Woods, and at the funeral services.
Sean, your mic.
Yeah, you cutting out.
You're cutting out your mic.
Bet. I'll start over then. So it's like
no, you're good.
So Cat attended the funeral of Jordan Woods' close friend, from what I've heard. Either way, it was confirmed he went to a funeral for a close friend. And what was more weird was the comments he made after what he said with Baron Davis. It's like you can't even wish the man like an apology saying, you just because he's ducking Jimmy Butler, even though multiple times Cat has played Jimmy Butler in Miami. So it's like, I don't know, like stuff like that is Draymond. I thought this whole you being the cancel the team thing was gone after your suspension, and seems to me he has not learned this lesson. Like comments like those is only going to be more of a distraction down the line. Like Steph has been balling the fuck out, and like Draymond's comments is gonna make it harder for like the team to somewhat kind of focus. So Draymond needs to kind of watch it.
Go ahead, Ahmad. This is your team.
Nah, I agree with Sean, bro. I agree with Sean. Ducking what, bro? Cat has played Jimmy Butler multiple times, and as it stands, Towns is 6-3 up when it comes to playing Jimmy Butler. Actually, last time they played, I think back in like October of last year, the Miami Heat, Karl-Anthony Towns had a sensational performance of 44 points, 13 boards, double on Jimmy Butler's head. So what are we really talking about here, bro?
And I remember that. I remember that.
Ahmad, you've done your research, bro. I like that, bro. You're doing your research.
I did do my
bro.
research because like Gmon's my boy, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta call him out. I gotta hold him accountable, bro. This is blasphemy, bro. You can't don't put that kind of dirt on Cat's name, bro. Because Cat he's really that guy when it comes to playing Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? So double.
I will say that when it comes to dealing with the loss of several family members, no one has it worse than Karl Anthony Towns. He has lost so much people throughout his NBA career, particularly his mother. May she rest in peace. May everyone cast Soko rest in peace. Because a lot of it was probably sickness, but no one has it worse than Cats when it comes to grieving with the losses of personal friends or family. So for Draymond to even insinuate that, it's just kind of bullshit.
I think there's nothing wrong with him. I think there's playful banter that goes on in the league to kind of keep that competitive going on. Oh, you ducking me? I think that's it's just regular basketball talk. I think the problem for me was when he circled back and kind of he didn't really hold accountability for it. He could have been just oh, I was joking around. It's just competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really mean anything by it. He could have said something like that, but his response to it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way because bro, just take accountability, bro. Even with the Jordan Poole thing, it never seems like Draymond Green ever wants to take accountability for anything.
I was about to say, when
not
has
a foul.
he taken accountability?
He doesn't, bro. There's never been a foul, a flagrant, a tech that he's actually was yeah, my fault. I shouldn't have done that. He's never.
Did he ever apologize to Steven Adams for kicking him in the nuts?
Never, bro. Even if it's by accident, even if he didn't mean to do it. How about my fault, bro? I didn't mean to do that.
Yep.
There's never that from Draymond Green, and that's what the issue is, bro. That's why people are looking at him like he's crazy, and that's why he's confused why there's a narrative around him. Draymond, you my boy, bro. So I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bro. You bugging out, bro. You bugging out. Take accountability.
Didn't they send him to therapy, bro?
It didn't work.
Or whatever.
I don't think they did. I'm not gonna lie. They probably sent him. They say he did, but no.
It was that big baby Glenn Davis kind of therapy, you know what I'm saying? That therapy.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm more pissed because of that statement after the whole cat thing was clarified.
Yeah.
So it's you can't do that, Draymond. You just can't. At least say I'm very sorry. I was just messing around.
Go ahead, P.
Draymond's gonna Draymond, bro. I mean, this is it doesn't shock me anymore at this point. The amount of stuff I've seen this dude do, I'm not shocked. And the fact that it's this isn't even truth. Y'all pointed out, they've played each other, so clearly they ain't ducking. They just what is he gonna say next? A guy off the bench missed the game, so he's ducking smoke from LeBron.
Yeah.
Bro, it's I understand it, trying to get clicks or whatever for his podcast or whatever, which, I think I'm being honest. A lot of these NBA players need to lay off the podcast. Save that for after you retire. I'm looking at you, Paul George. No, 7 points. Josh, let him know. Let him know about Paul George and his 7 points.
Take it away, Josh. Camera.
I had PG in a parlay, I think Tuesday. All he needed to get, this is how bad he's playing. They had him at 19 points, okay? The man had to either get 19 to at least, draw my parlay or get 20. The man had 7. Paul George, listen to me. I will never take your over again. Never.
Josh, if you still put money on PG, bro, that's on you, buddy. That's on you, buddy. You can click the button that says under. You know what I mean? You don't have to take the over on buddy, bro.
Bro, Trav, listen to me though. Embiid and Maxey didn't play, so I'm thinking, he gotta score 20. You feel me? He gotta score 20. Nigga had 7, bro.
That's who he is, bro.
It is
ridiculous, bro.
Save the podcast for after your career's over, NBA players and Draymond.
Actually, that's the only player who should be on a podcast is Paul George because he is so ass right now, bro. Just go ahead and podcast, bro. It doesn't matter if you podcast or not, bro. You're gonna put up them numbers, bro.
You still put up 7.
Podcast P. side of the backboard P,
Pandemic P.
Bro,
damn.
that's a
Garbage
big.
P.
That's a huge fall from grace for Paul George, man.
You know
Super.
what?
Crazy
Fun fact. I blocked them on Instagram. Real shit. But go ahead, Travis. What's your take on this before we move
Nah,
on?
I think it's just like Peanut said. That's Draymond being Draymond. I think he at this point, like, we know who Draymond is. Draymond's a bad guy, right? So Draymond is just going to be the bad guy. And he's going to be a good teammate. So he's not going to apologize, and he's going to be like, he's going to make Jimmy Butler look like the boogeyman. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Like, no one, if you got to think about it, half the people who are watching it aren't going to go fact check nothing. So they're going to just take that and run with it and be like, oh, he's ducking the smoke. But like you said, I think 6-3, this is the first game since 2018, since he was traded, that he's missed that he had to go against Jimmy Butler. So it's like, you're talking about one game out of 9 that he's missed. So it's like, but like I said, most people aren't going to go do their research. So people be like, oh yeah, he's ducking the smoke. It's like, that's not what's happening. You know what I mean? But Draymond being who Draymond is, yeah, I'm gonna put this out there. It's gonna catch fire, and no, I'm not gonna apologize for it because I'm Draymond Green. You know what I mean? Like I'm 3-4-time champion. This is what I do. I ride for my team. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. So like I see Draymond. I don't fault Draymond because that's just who Draymond is, and he's definitely gonna. If Draymond was my teammate, I would love him to death. You know what I mean? Like that's who you want as a teammate. You know what I mean? He's going to ride for you, liar, truth. So I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. I'm not too deep. You know what I mean? Like there's the old apology. I mean, if it really was, you know, like an actual funeral, I get that. But like how Draymond's built, he don't give a fuck about none of that. So it's like, nah, like you ducking the smoke, buddy, and this is what you want to ride with. So go do your research if you don't believe me. And when you do your research, you'll find out like, all right, like this is the first one in not so in 10 games, out of 10 games, he's missed 1. So like what are we talking about? You know what I mean? So
I feel like he's just on his high horse right now because the Warriors are just doing well. That's what it is, really.
I mean, and even if they weren't doing well, he can kind of be on his high. I mean, that's Draymond Green. Like during when Draymond Green was balling, he was one of them guys. You know what I mean? Like he was one of those special role players. He was never the guy, but he was one of them special role players where it's like, I don't think Golden State gets to the levels they got to without Draymond Green.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's one of those guys who's going to go down in history as like that dude. You know what I mean? Like
ultimate
defensive.
enforcer.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and you like that. You know what I mean? It makes me think like back in the day. Like imagine if Dennis Rodman had social media back in the day. You know what I mean? Like who knows how crazy that would have looked like. You know what I mean? Like it could have been craziness. You know what I mean? Like,
He's got it now.
I could tell you a lot about what Dennis Rodman did. One time Dennis Rodman married himself.
It was
different.
Crazy.
Greatest rebounder ever, though.
Let's move on. So next we have the MVP race. I don't think we really spoke about it. Maybe once we spoke about the MVP, but I feel like this is a good point in time right now to talk about it. We really got 5 players right now. I say 6, maybe, but 5 legit players that can make a run for the MVP. Right now, we know it's Shai is leading, and then you got Jokic, and you could swap them, really. They could be 1 and 2. Then you got Giannis at 3, Tatum at 4, and LeBron at 5. Travis, talk to us, man. Who do you think is the MVP right now?
So out of those 5 guys, I think it's only actually 2 of them. And I think it's either Shai, I think it's LeBron. I know people might, I think it's only Shai or LeBron. I think the Nuggets are maybe 3rd in the West. Obviously wouldn't be 3rd without Jokic. I like to look at that like that award as like if you take that player off that team, if that player was hurt, how good would that team be? Right? So I feel like the Thunder, if they didn't have Shai, that team would be nowhere close to what they're at. Maybe a 5th, 6th, 7th seed. You know what I mean? And I think you take LeBron off the Lakers, even if it was just Anthony Davis running there, that team is not doing what they're doing now. Maybe with Luka, but I think LeBron. I think people minimize what LeBron does for a team. So I
Yes.
really think it's Shai and LeBron. I think Tatum could go down for injury, and that Boston team is so good that Boston team would still keep pace with where they're at because you
Yeah.
have the Jalen Browns of the world, you have Derek White who can go off, you have
Peyton Pritchard.
Porzingis. You have these guys who can come off the bench too. Like the Celtics, I think have the deepest, best team in the league as far as being able to play without those guys. So like, I think if Tatum was to get hurt, that Boston team would still be number 1 or 2. So I take him out of there. Giannis, it's tough too because I've watched them play without Giannis, and Dame carries that team. You know what I mean? So I've seen certain things where it's like that's a little different. Jokic, I guess you can make an argument for Jokic. If the Denver Nuggets didn't have Jokic, they'd probably be a 8-9 seed as well. So Shai, Jokic, and LeBron. But for me right now, it'd be those top 2 teams in the West. It'd be Shai and LeBron. If you take LeBron off the Lakers, they would not be doing what they're doing. If you take Shai off OKC, they would not be doing what they're doing. So I think you gotta go with those 2 guys.
All right. Sean, go ahead, bro.
Well, I would never entertain a Tatum MVP in my life because of the fact that Trav said they have a lot of guys like Derek White and Peyton Pritchard yesterday combined like for 80 points each, like 40 and 40. Derek White had 9
They're the first 2 Celtics to ever do that.
Ever.
Exactly.
And
like
Peyton Pritchard was doing it off the bench.
Exactly. So it's like I'll never entertain a Tatum MVP unless he goes spectacularly crazy in his life. And I'm sorry, Giannis, put the fries in the bag. Like your team just Doc Rivers, hell nah. The other 3 are very interesting. The thing with Jokic is that he's putting up phenomenal stats. The team just right now is just not leading the horse, and also his defense has not been that well, like not that solid compared to it was like the last couple seasons. And LeBron, I have him as second because the fact that, and I could go into full detail, and I don't want to make the episode too long, but since I've not been here, like Mondays is where the Laker talk starts. Like I feel like that LeBron having Luka has been probably the biggest benefactory so far in his outstanding like season so far. Like with Luka around, you can't stop Luka. And that relaxes LeBron James so much because he doesn't have to carry the load that much to the point where he's actually trying hard on defense, and he's more efficient than he's been since playing with Luka Doncic. Like here's another example. Like he's not nowhere close to MVP, but ever since I gotta bring it up because Miami, ever since Kelly Ware has been in the starting lineup, Bam Adebayo has bounced back to his normal self. So it's the benefit of having someone who could ease the load that allows LeBron to be that dominant at 40 fucking years old. Like if Shai wasn't as dominant,
you said it twice, bro. You said
wait, what?
Load, bro.
You want to ease the load, bro? Ease the load, all right.
That's the pause, bro.
But I will say, LeBron, I think this is just a thing of he just did like because of LeBron, Anthony Davis, like they were not LeBron was not that lethal compared to he was like in the first like more like since like AD got hurt with an ankle injury for like a little bit before he got traded. So I think Shai has been doing it consistently, and without Shai, the Thunder, while Jalen Williams may be solid, Jalen Williams is a phenomenal second option on the championship roster. Like, but Shai has a bag. He's doing it from start to finish. He's Mr. Consistent. Shai's my MVP.
Go ahead, P.
I think it's only 2 personally, Shai and Jokic. Y'all are forgetting the fact Jokic has only gotten better. Like this dude is three-time MVP already at this point, right?
That's right.
And he's getting better. How like put that in perspective, bro. If he was already the best player in the NBA 3 times and he's getting better, I agree with Travis's point that if you were to take these players off the teams, like how well would they be doing? I think the Nuggets disappear if you take away Jokic. I mean, that team's solid, but Jamal Murray ain't carrying that team.
No,
Michael Porter Jr. ain't carrying that team. Their bench is god awful. So
Yes, it
you're
is.
gonna DeAndre Orton's booted into the starting lineup, and we already had a conversation about how DeAndre Jordan is. I personally would rank. I'd give Shai the edge this season just because voter fatigue is a thing. That's always going to be a thing in the NBA. We saw it last year, or was it last year, or when did Embiid win it? Was
2
it
years
last
ago.
year? 2 years ago?
2
We
years
saw
ago.
it that year with Jokic as well. That it's just voter fatigue. It happens. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shai takes it home. I mean, and I wouldn't be upset if Shai takes it home because I mean, rightfully, he's just as good as Jokic. I mean, he's like the pinnacle of like players when you think of. I think to give LeBron credit, I think you could take him off that Lakers team and they'd still be. I don't think they'd be number 2. I think they'd probably be back at where they were towards the beginning of the season at the lower end of the West. Because I mean, AD and Jokic, or AD or Luka could carry the load. They got a good, solid starting supporting cast, and I mean Austin Reeves could help be that little balance. But for me personally, it's either Jokic or Shai. That's just the way I feel.
Go ahead, Ahmad.
For me, it's without a doubt. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is without a doubt the MVP of this season. That's
Thank
not even
you,
like it's
bro.
not even a question. Like when we talk about, first of all, the OKC, the Western Conference is a way harder conference than the Eastern Conference, and you look at where Shai.
Christian would disagree.
I don't care what Christian says. The Western Conference is a harder conference, bro. It's a
I
harder
agree.
conference. Everybody knows that way. It's been that way for a minute, bro. And they are the number 1 in their conference without having like Chet for like half the season.
Exactly.
That speaks volumes to me. And a lot of that comes from Shai. And not only does it come from like what he does in terms of dropping 50-point games, but it also comes from his leadership. He's shown amazing leadership. Playing both sides of the ball, defense and offense, and he's had like 54. He had 50 the other night. Like he's just been consistent every single night. I wish I picked him up for fantasy because every single night it's like you know what you're gonna get from him. You know what you're gonna get from him night in and night out. And I would definitely pick him as an MVP over like a player like Jokic or like LeBron or like a Giannis. I mean, those players are all having sensational seasons, but when we talk about LeBron, for example, LeBron isn't the most valuable player anymore in the league. He's not. He's not even the most valuable player on his team. Like, he's a valuable player, not the most valuable player anymore. Not anymore. Luka is. LeBron. If LeBron sits down, they're not going. They might not, win a championship because you need people. You need players, a team to win a championship. But they're not gonna be ass. Luka got them. It's gonna be the Luka show. Like we know this. We've seen this happen over in Dallas. So that's my argument against LeBron not being the MVP. Giannis, like to Travis' point, we've seen the team kind of do fine without Giannis. Obviously, they need him, but I just think for me, he's kind of disqualified depending upon his standing in the conference right now. And same thing with Jokic. I think Jokic, he'd probably be the Shai's right here, Jokic is right here for me. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a very, very, very close second for me. Just because of his numbers and everything. But I just gotta go with Shai because of his consistency and also where he's been able to lead his team to this year.
Did I heard that the Bucks would be fine if Giannis is not on the roster?
I'm saying they had good games.
I said that.
Travis said that. I mean, Dame can help balance it out for him. I mean, Dame did it in Portland. What are you shaking your head no for? He did it in
Have
Portland.
you seen his defense? The Bucks defense would be ass cheeks without Giannis.
No, they have some defensive players. They have defensive players in Milwaukee. That's the thing, though. Like even if Dame's not playing, good defense, I think they would. That wouldn't hurt them. Like I don't think Giannis is their whole defensive package.
No. Now when you got like Brook Lopez, in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Torian Prince. I know
Yeah.
we joke
He's a
about him,
solid
but
3-and-D guy.
no, but Prince, no, real shit though.
He
Prince is
is.
a solid 3-and-D guy.
He is.
Yeah. And
He
now
is.
I
But I
also,
know,
I
but
also,
sorry, I'm not saying that. That's Trav and Ahmad.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
me. I'll wear that. I'll wear it.
I
Like I said,
never
I'll wear that.
physically harder. Like
I I want to touch back on Bron. Bron without Luka.
All
Bron without Luka. 20
Mhm.
games without Luka, right?
Mhm.
Right?
27, 7, and 8 without Luka.
Talk, Trav, talk.
And you're talking about him playing with street clothes, aka Anthony Davis. So I think LeBron, I don't think you can just, sleep on Bron and what he's doing. And Peanut, saying like Jokic is getting better. You almost might make an argument that LeBron is getting better at 40. You know what I mean? It might sound a little
Yes.
crazy. It sounds crazy, but you could almost make that argument that LeBron is also getting better. I mean, the last 3 games, Bron dropped 30. You know what I mean? Like at 40. You know what I mean? It's just it's different. You know what I mean? Shai for sure. He's averaging the most points this year, 31 or 32. You know what I mean? Like that OKC team definitely would look totally different if he wasn't playing. But I mean, if you go back to when Bron won it, when they keep comparing him to that 2012, 2013 year, the leading scorer that year was Carmelo Anthony on the second seeded Knicks. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously, if you take Melo off of that Knicks team probably would have been shit. But LeBron still got it just because of how LeBron was playing. So I mean, if you go back and start looking at how they actually do things, LeBron should be in the talks this year for sure. You know what I mean? Even though he's not averaging 33 points over Shai. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
even though you have.
he's definitely in the talks. He's definitely in the talks. Without a question, he's definitely in the talks. My point was he's not the MVP though. He can be in the conversation because he's having a good season. That doesn't necessarily mean like I'm gonna pick him with overwhelming confidence as MVP because the last 20 games without Luka, yeah, but he had AD. You know, he definitely had AD in that mix too, and he's had great games. But when you talk about someone like SGA, like Jay, he's been dominating. LeBron hasn't dominated, in my opinion, like for the majority of the season. He's on a run right now where he's dominated and he's done really great things. I'm actually very happy and I'm honored to see how he's playing. But if you look at the majority of the season and his defensive stats too, I don't see him as someone who's dominated the way we're used to seeing an MVP dominate.
He also had that stretch of games where he just didn't hit the three.
Yeah, he couldn't. Yeah,
Like if you compare that to like Shai or Jokic, where they just can, like it gets to the point like with like a player like Jokic, he has a triple double, but it's not a 30-point triple double, so people are calling him ass.
yeah.
Like he gets to that point. I feel
I
like
understand that, but like, I agree with Trav. You know, and bias aside, I feel like Bron's the MVP. I really do because his impact on the team, he has a huge impact on the Lakers when he's not on the court. You feel me? Right now, he's shooting 55% and 43% on 3-pointers, the best in his career. The best in his career. Yes, he did have a stretch of games where he was shooting terrible from 3, but that's okay. Everybody gets in a shooting slump. Steph gets in a shooting slump. You feel me? But adding Luka just made Bron even more valuable, in my opinion. You
And
feel
and
me?
I got a lot of love for Shai. I think Shai should have won the MVP last year. Honestly, if you ask me, I think Shai was in the same situation he's at now, where he was putting 30 up, took that team without Chet the whole year to where they were at. I think Shai should have won it last year. You know what I mean? I'm. It's not no hate against. It's not no slight against him at all. Like I really think he's a great player. You know what I mean? But I think the factors, and maybe it's that 40-year-old thing sitting in my brain that LeBron is playing better than he has in certain years when he was younger, keeping this
It's
Laker
crazy.
team afloat. Like even when they didn't have AD, was keeping this Laker team afloat. I just think it's something special. You know what I mean? Like
I think Trav. I think that is what I think. You're like thinking about the story of it. I'm thinking about like it is what it is. I'm thinking about what it is. Like I'm looking at it like you're right. if Shai and Jokic didn't exist, Bron probably would be in the MVP. Unfortunately, they do exist. That bar that he got, the bar of MVP is a little bit higher now because of players like Jokic and Shai. I think LeBron's having a sensational season, but it's just that there are other players having an even greater season, which makes that conversation a little bit tougher to have.
Right. But
Is
hold on. Not to cut
is
you off,
is
Mom. Not to
Jokic
cut you.
is Jokic numbers better than LeBron this year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jokic-
I'm honestly asking. I don't know.
Jokic,
Yeah,
I
no, they
think
are, they
Jokic
are.
is on pace to lead the league,
triple-double.
to be the first person to lead the NBA in points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay.
Right.
I was asking.
But-
I didn't know.
But what we're forgetting too is that LeBron and the Lakers are 40 and 21. Nobody expected the Lakers to be 40 and 21 in March. Okay, nobody.
Josh, they got Luka.
I don't.
The
We
Nuggets
wasn't
are
expecting Luka. You're right. We was not expecting the Lakers to
Alright.
get Luka Doncic, bro. You're
So-
right. You got us.
No,
So
but
it-
without
yeah.
Luka, we were still 4th, 5th seed. So you can't even say that, bro. We
So,
were playing better than Dallas. You can't
a
say
quick-
that.
A quick
You
look
can't
at the
say that.
stats. A quick look at the stats will have me backtrack a little bit. You might have to get the Jokic. If he's averaging a triple double right now, which I'm looking at, 28, 10, and 12, you might have to get that man an MVP.
and
No, he missed too many games. He missed too many games. That's the issue.
and to bring up Josh's point about LeBron shooting the best 3-point percentage, Jokic is shooting the best 3-point percentage of his career this season too.
But LeBron, Jokic's impact is crazy, bro. It is. It's Jokic. He does it all. LeBron does it all too. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
Joker's shooting
it can go either way
43%.
between those three. It can go either way between Shai, Bron, and Jokic. But for the story, for the narrative, I feel like it should go to Bron. This is insane, bro.
No,
This
bro,
is
you
insane.
can't do it off of the story. You can't do it off the plot,
Narrative,
bro.
narrative
That's not
plays a
fair.
big
Yeah.
part.
I agree.
That's not
I agree with
fair.
you, Ahmad, on that. I agree with you on that. Like,
But narrative plays a big part in the MVP race. It does.
No, domination does.
It does.
That hard. The way I think about it is like this: that Harden MVP, that's MVP shit right there. That Harden era is MVP. Like, just you can't stop me, bro. This is step back automatic. You can't stop that shit, bro. And that's what I see Shai. That's what I see from Shai. Honestly, like you can't guard me, nigga. Like no matter who's on the
can't
court,
stop him.
you can't stop it.
Also, Ahmad, did you say that Jokic missed too many games?
I thought I said Luka.
Okay. I was
Were
like,
you talking about Luka, Trav? Or talking about,
No. I was talking about the Joker. The Joker is averaging
my
a triple
fault.
double currently.
Oh, my fault.
So I would say I think you have to give the MVP to the Joker right now.
Okay.
He has only played 56 games, but I don't know if that's.
Yeah.
He's only missed a couple, I believe.
yeah,
I
Jokic
thought you
only
were
missed
talking
like
about Luka. My fault.
Yeah, there's a 65 game limit. You have to play 65
Requirement.
games to qualify for
And
any
he's
awards.
and he's played 56.
Yeah, he's on
he's-
pace. He'll do it.
He's gonna.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think with looking at those stats at 28, 12, and 10, like as a center, let's give him his 4th MVP. You know what I mean? Like I think that's tough. I mean, that's tough. That's tough.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
If you want to dig into the numbers like that, like I'm
Yeah.
just now I'm looking at the numbers, like that's tough. Like you would have to almost give him that because I think like Sean was saying, I mean the Nuggets might not even be on anyone's radar if Jokic wasn't on that team.
Yeah.
You know, can Jamal Murray carry them? Maybe not, but definitely not the 3 seed. You know, you're talking about maybe a 9 seed.
I don't even know
hear
if
you.
it'd be that, bro. Jamal Murray
Yeah.
just doesn't
He's
appear
inconsistent.
in the regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. It's hard to say because you never know what that player can put up when they're under that pressure. You know, like a great player, what they can do when they don't have that player. I mean, like I said, this is all just what ifs. You know what I mean? So like maybe if he didn't have Jokic, he taps into something that we didn't know he could do. You know what I mean? He does go a little crazy, and it's like now we're talking about Jamal Murray, like he's a fucking top 10 player in the league, and it's like, oh shit, Jamal Murray, this and that, and it's like, but he has a crutch to lean on in Jokic. You know what I mean? So
Christian brought up this point, like I think last pod, or it's on our TikTok, about how Jokic makes players seem better than they actually are.
Yeah, he
So
did
I
say
mean, like
that.
you got to
He
take
did.
that into account too. Like we're
Yeah.
looking at this Nuggets team, like with Jokic, we don't really ever see them without Jokic, so we don't even really know what they were really
What
like.
they
We've seen the Lakers teams the team at times without LeBron.
And
I
they've
will
stunk.
I will say that I'm looking at the standings. Right now, the Nuggets are beating the Suns, and if the Nuggets win, have a they have an identical record with the Lakers basically, except the Lakers have played. They will probably get one less win and one less loss. So it's like it all. It, both teams play tomorrow. So if the Lakers lose tomorrow and the Nuggets win 2 straight, the Nuggets would be second by tomorrow.
It's gonna be a close race coming towards playoff time. So we'll see. But with that being said, we're gonna move on to our last and final topic of the night. I just want to know who you guys think is the most underrated team this season, and what team do you think can make a push in the playoffs going into the championship? We're gonna start with Ahmad this time.
Yeah, I don't gamble, y'all. Y'all know I don't gamble, but if I did gamble, I'm putting my money on the Detroit Pistons. And putting
I
money
had
on the Detroit Pistons, bro.
I
Like,
had
I'm
the
not gonna lie to you. The odds is crazy right now, bro. Put $100, bro. Listen to me. I don't got a code yet, but code my put it in, bro. $100 on the Detroit Pistons. Gonna go crazy. If you look at the Detroit Pistons right now, look at Cade Cunningham, bro. Cade been going crazy. He was actually going crazy last season too. They had sucked last season, but
Yeah.
he's been going actually insane. He's been extremely consistent. And if you look at how he plays with a lot of maturity. He reminds me of Shai in a way. The games are different, but just the way in which he moves, gets to his spot, consistency wise, he reminds me a lot of Shai. You got Malik Beasley come off the bench, 6th man of the year right there. And if you look back at the teams that they beat, most notably the Celtics, they beat them without any Jaden Ivey. They beat the Clippers, and they beat the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, which is the Cavs. You know what I'm saying? So they're beating these top teams, which indicate to me they have a chance at least making that playoff push. So for me, I'm going with the Detroit Pistons, man.
Let's go with you, son.
I love that you said the Pistons. Like Cade Cunningham was very high in my MVP rankings personally. I even had Cade above Tatum. Hot take, don't at me. But
Bugging. Nah, you're bugging. You're bugging.
That's
I
not
know
a crazy
you
take.
there,
It's not a
bro.
crazy take.
I don't
Without
think it's
Cade,
too crazy of a take.
That's a
Yeah,
crazy take.
it's
I
not a
know.
crazy
It is
take.
nowhere near Tatum. Stop
He
it.
is.
That
Stop,
goes. It
stop.
goes
No,
back to. It
no.
goes back to this point. Take away Cade from that Pistons team, bro. They're stinking.
Stop
That's
it.
definitely.
But is
But
it? Oh, I'm sorry, Sean. I don't want to cut you off, bro. That y'all kind of just triggered me just now. The Celtics, bro. The Celtics. It's not Tatum's fault that the Celtics
It's
are
not.
so good, bro. But let's act. We're not gonna sit here and act like Tatum's not averaging 26, 8, and 6, bro. Come
Bro,
on, bro.
Cade averages 25, 25, 6, and 9. So it's
25, 6,
like,
and 9.
yeah.
I understand that, but the Celtics are not going to be. I know what you said, Trav, and what most of y'all been saying. You take Tatum away from the Celtics, bro. I don't think they're the same team. I don't care.
Bro,
I
you
don't
got
think Brown can
what?
carry them. No,
Bro, you got Derek
Brown cannot
White,
carry them to a
Brown,
championship.
Pritchard. Like, bro,
No,
come on. You
no.
have so
You
many.
got
Porzingis, Drew
Kristaps.
Holiday.
You have a solid
no.
5. You have a
Yeah.
solid 5 players on that Celtics team who can start without Tatum and take that team to at least a 1 to 3 seed. You're talking about a 6 seed in the Pistons with Cade Cunningham doing the same numbers that Jason Tatum doing.
I
Yeah,
understand that,
with
but
a Malik
I just
Beasley.
feel like this Tatum hate is crazy, bro.
It's not hate.
It's hate, bro.
Nah, it's not hate.
It's
Nah,
hate, bro.
I fuck
Should
with
have
Tatum
won
because
Finals MVP if he was so good.
I fuck with Tatum because he comes from that Kobe tree. So I fuck with Tatum a lot. But
All right. I'm not gonna let that trigger me. Go ahead, Sean. Finish your point.
But
I feel like that the most underrated team might honestly be the Memphis Grizzlies.
Mm.
They got Jaren Jackson has been very under fucking rated. Desmond Bain is a very capable scorer. Zach Giddey is a very capable rebounder. No one talks about the depth. The bench is pretty solid. Like you got a bunch of guys. Jalen Wells, Vince Williams. I think Brandon Clark's still in the roster. Santi Aldama, like Luke Kennard.
Quality problem.
Like you got a list of guys. There are 10 deep, might be even been more with the Memphis Grizzlies. They have experience. They are mostly healthy for the most part. Jaren Jackson is not playing tonight's game or last game,
Trust me, I
but
know.
but Memphis, they have a roster, and like don't sleep on Memphis.
Jaren Jackson right now is the best player on the Memphis Grizzlies, in my opinion.
You could say that.
He's been leading that team, in my opinion.
And if you ask me, that's the problem. He can't be your best player.
Jaws hasn't been really stepping up. I mean, I don't know, man. Jaws been inconsistent this season, but
He's only averaging 20.
They're a better team when he is on the court, no doubt.
For sure.
Go ahead, Travis. Who do you think is the most underrated team this season?
It's that. I don't know if I'm going by stats or going by just, I don't even want to go by how well they've been playing recently, but I'm going to give a nod to my squad. I think it's Golden State. I think Golden State might be the most underrated team that can actually make a push and make some noise in the West. You have proven champions on that team, right? And one thing you can't take away from like certain ballers is that shot. And I feel like as long as Steph is playing and Steph can play to what he needs to be playing to, that team's going to be dangerous. The addition of Jimmy Butler is also something crazy for them, where it's like whoever's not going off, the other one's going to go off. I don't ever think we're going to see a night where Steph has 10 and Jimmy has 10. You know what I mean? I think that team is something to worry about just because of who Steph is and what Jimmy Butler can do. Bench, I wouldn't say the bench is the greatest, but the bench is solid. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. It sounds like I said, I know they're 6 seed right now. Same seed as what the Pistons are in the East. You know what I mean? They're 6 seed right now. I think Golden State is kind of under the radar. Everyone's kind of already written them off as like they're done for, they're washed up. But if that team gets hot and rolling, I think they can give people some problems over there in the West.
It's a fact, Travis. It's a fact, bro.
And
I'm a fact.
I mean, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not, like I said, big Lakers fan. I think there's a bunch of teams better than them, but I think I respect the game. You know what I mean? I look at what these players actually can do. And I think if them boys get hot, them boys can do something.
Yeah. I was gonna say the Golden State Warriors, but they were never even like underrated to me. You know what I'm saying? I always knew they could do this, so that's why I picked them.
And see, and that, yeah, coming from a fan, you know, I mean, you obviously can't say that, but for someone who, seeing them in the season, it's like I remember before All-Star break, everyone was like, are they going to be a play-in team? Blah blah blah, this and that. Like, are they 10 seed, 11 seed? They're 6 seed. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, they've been heating up recently. Like I said, that trade with Jimmy Butler, I think, did a lot for them, and I just don't sleep on that team. You know what I mean? Like, can't sleep on Golden State. Obviously, I think they lose 4-1 to the Lakers, but if they can avoid the Lakers, if they can avoid the Lakers in the playoffs, you know what I mean? If they can avoid the Lakers in the playoffs, they might can do something. You know what I mean? So
why now? If the playoffs were to end today, they'll be going against the Denver Nuggets.
And you know what's crazy is I think they could beat the Nuggets.
I think they can.
They can. I think we can.
They can beat the Nuggets. I think they can beat the Nuggets.
Jamal Murray.
I personally think we can honestly be real. We can honestly beat any team. We can beat any team. We have the potential to beat any team. Are we gonna do it? There's so many variables there, but I believe we can beat any team in that Western Conference. And again, bias aside, I do think our hardest matchup in my eyes would really be the Lakers. I think Lakers would be the hardest matchup.
And I think how it's set up right now, if the Lakers were to play the Nuggets if the Warriors would play the Nuggets and the Lakers play the Timberwolves or the Clippers, if both them teams win that matchup, it's Lakers versus Warriors.
I personally see the Warriors making it past the first round. I see the Warriors making it past the first round, and then Curry doing that thing like, oh, this is my house, and then like going to the second round and
Put them to sleep.
exactly going to the second
You know what I
round.
mean?
So what
Like,
happens then? So that's how I see a plot playing out. My fault, P.
You
Go ahead,
good?
Pete.
I was gonna agree with you earlier and say the
Yeah.
Pistons. Honestly, with the way the East is, I wouldn't be shocked that if they like upset one of these like higher seed teams, like the Knicks, they beat the Celtics, so clearly they can beat them.
Yeah, and the Cavs,
Maybe
they beat the Cavs too.
maybe I mean I wouldn't be surprised. You know, they clinch out like a tight seven game series, and they just upset one of these teams, and then all of a sudden they're like the Pacers from last year, where they in a spot where they shouldn't be, and they
They make it to the
surprised a lot
Eastern
of people.
Conference Finals.
and P, if it was a start today, the Pistons would play the Knicks. If it was a start today,
I
I
don't
could-
know. I mean,
I could.
hey, we just saw it the other day. Jalen Brunson went down.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all it takes for that Knicks team. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all it really takes for one of the either the Knicks or the Cavaliers. If like Donovan Mitchell or like Jalen Brunson goes down, those teams are in trouble. And like a team like the Pistons would really.
I think the Cavs has more depth than that than a Knicks team. Knicks, we saw
Yeah.
last year, Jalen Brunson went down, and obviously that was an issue. But you look at the Cavs, they got a lot more pieces to kind of fall back on if that was.
Well, I'm just saying because that's what happened last year to them.
Yeah, that is what happened. They had the same team for the most part. They just added, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, and stuff like that. But
Those are big pieces.
Yeah,
those
those
are
big
big
pieces.
pieces,
Yeah,
definitely.
DeAndre Hunter is a big piece for them.
Yeah.
Massively improved.
And Evan Mobley, he's playing way better this season.
He's playing
like,
way better than he did
Yeah.
last year.
Same Garland. Like
Garland.
in
Yeah.
terms of
Shout out Cleveland's coach Kenny Atkinson.
yeah, like I was so close to saying the Cavaliers because the fact that the media has hardly given them any coverage, and yet they are probably one of the most complete teams in the league, if you ask me. Like that's just absolutely disgusting. The fact that they get the lack of coverage that they
Because
do.
Cleveland's not exciting, like Ahmad said earlier when we were talking about.
Donovan
It's
Mitchell is
not.
exciting.
I'm sorry, it's not.
Like-
Without LeBron there, it's not.
I'm sorry, like your best team in the league. I think you should get one of the best teams. I do believe you should get coverage. That's
What's
just
going
how
on in Cleveland nowadays?
I don't even know, bro. It's cold.
Nah,
But
right.
before we end the podcast, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all my underrated team. How y'all forget about the Rockets, bro?
I try to avoid teams like that just because they don't really have that playoff experience.
Yeah.
Like that.
Right. But you never know. They're a young team, just like how OKC was in the playoffs, and they got out the first round. I could see Houston making it out the first round.
They'd have to beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. They got Fred VanVleet, who's a great point guard, Jalen Green, Amon Thompson. He's a freak athlete.
Him and Tari Eason are giving
Tari
teams
Eason.
problems.
Yeah.
You know the nickname I gave them early podcast days?
Don't say it, Sean.
We know.
Don't say it. But and they got Dylan Brooks and Sengun. So VanVleet, Green, Thompson, Brooks, Sengun. That's a solid starting five. And then they got Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith, Steven Adams, who plays about 10, 15 minutes, he's still a good defensive player, not like he was in his OKC days, but they're pretty good. Tari Eason, great defenders. They have good shooters. I could see the Rockets making a little run in the playoffs.
I agree with that.
And Ime, let's not forget Ime. Coach Ime got them.
Oh yeah,
boys
Ime's
fucked
a
up.
freak coach. Like
He's
I would
got-
say unironically.
Literally.
No,
Nah, he ain't.
Only thing I would say that sucks for the Rockets is how close that West is.
yeah.
That, like I said, if it ended today, they'd be going against the Grizzlies, but the Grizzlies are only a game behind the Nuggets and the Lakers, so that could swap so quickly.
Yeah.
And you could have the Rockets,
Guys,
if the Rockets get matched up against the Nuggets, it's a wrap. If the Rockets get matched up against the Lakers, it's a wrap. I think, like I said, I think it might be a gentleman's sweep them going against the Grizzlies. You know what I mean? It might be 4-1 going against the Grizzlies. So I mean, it's tough out there. I think the Rockets are too young. I would say, like, I don't know who just said that. Just a young team. I don't know if they can make that push right now. But they definitely have a solid squad. Solid little squad of young boys on there, but they might have to get humbled. They might have to get humbled this year.
Uh, Yeah, and plus I feel like the inexperience will mostly come down to Jalen Green. Like he's gonna be the guy who will probably have to take a lot of shots, and I think that will show.
Mhm.
But they got that veteran. They got Freddie VanVleet. Fred.
They do got Fred.
He's a vet, man. He's won a championship. So he's got
Uh,
He's been to the finals.
I don't consider him a real vet though. I don't consider Fred a real vet.
He is a
Yeah,
vet, bro.
He
When
was,
you
he was
win a
putting, he was
championship,
putting, the,
got
he
a
was putting
ring.
lamps on Curry.
He's got a ring.
he's got a ring. When you win a
Well,
Kawhi,
championship,
that-
you go to
That was
a
that
young
Kawhi
team.
ring.
Yeah,
That was that Kawhi ring, bro. I
He
feel
was
like
a pivotal
Kawhi
part
killed.
of that team.
Yeah, he was pivotal.
Yeah.
But I
That
feel like
was-
that was his breakout. Like I feel like that was his like real like breakout year when he won the championship. And I don't think that qualifies. I mean, it gives him a little bit of a championship experience, but I feel like it was really more so Kawhi.
No,
And that
when you
was-
win a
But he
championship,
showed up.
bro, you have championship experience. Period, bro.
Yeah,
When
He's
you're a vet like he is, and you go to a young team, and then you pair them up with Ime, who's been to the finals and he's been a phenomenal coach, bro. You'll be surprised. I could see them upsetting the team.
He and to not discredit his experience, he walked into that game one of the NBA Finals like any other person that's walked into a game one of the NBA Finals. Granted, he didn't know that that Clay and KD would go down, but that
Mhm.
going into that game, he could preach to those players what it's like to go into go into Golden State or wherever and play in a hostile environment and just play in like the biggest game of your career.
Right.
Okay.
But with that being said, that's all we have for tonight's episode of Mine. Take us out, bro.
Yeah, guys, appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all you guys who tuned in to us.
Thanks,
We'll be
and
back.
thank you for the close to 200 views on that last episode, man. That's a big milestone for
Let's
us,
go.
man.
Nah,
On a
fact.
full
Shout out to y'all.
episode,
Shout out to y'all. Let's go.
That's a
on a
fact.
full episode.
Yo, and shout out to
Appreciate
Trav for
that.
joining us, bro. We appreciate
Yes,
you
Trav,
coming on the
man.
show,
You've been
man.
a
Like
great
for real,
addition,
for
bro.
real.
Hey,
Great
trying to,
addition,
y'all.
man.
Trying.
Bro. Great addition.
Yes, sir.
Only bigger and better things from here on out.
Facts,
Sure.
facts.
All right.
All right,
Salute,
y'all.
y'all. Be out.